Alright, greetings. You already know who it is. Now, this video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I wouldn't do a video like this. But obviously I have to address something now. I really have to deal with something right here. Now, obviously, I've seen a video now. Right, brother in the country community, a very known brother now in the country community, wants to speak on, the elders, in particular, Bobby Hemmitt. Now, I can understand the brother's probably just doing it just for the, obviously just for the views, things like that, just for the views and all that. But I really got to deal with this. You see what I'm saying? I really got to address this. So now the brother's talking about, he wants to destroying Bobby Hemmitt. I really got to address this. You see what I'm saying? I know it's just for the views and all that, but when things like this happen, there's a line. You see what I'm saying? There's a line, right? And when somebody crosses that line, that's when you're supposed to put them back in their place. And so this is what has to be done now. So again, the brother wants to talk about Bobby Hemmitt. You see now, obviously you guys know who've been following me for some time. That you guys know that's the school of thought that I come from. The Bobbies, the Phils, the Panics, and all of that. But mainly dealing with the Bobbies though. Mainly the Bobby. That's the school of thought that I come from. You see what I'm saying? And you guys know that. You guys who've been following me for years now. You know this. You see what I'm saying? So initially, when I saw it, it made me think like, what, he's crossed the line now. You've crossed the line. So I really got to deal with this. So now, this nigger's talking about obviously one of Bobby Hemmitt's teaching, speak about the Baphomet. But see, what you gotta understand is obviously Bobby now, over the years, Bobby's, he's dealt with knowledge, dealing with the Baphomet, he's dealt with all these different things. But again, nobody's perfect. There is no perfect. Even I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You see what I'm saying? Especially when you've had such a long line of work, so many years in the game, really. Certain things, you wouldn't, of certain things that you may have touched on, you wouldn't have touched on completely. Certain things may have not been fully, you see what I'm saying, broken down to its fullest degree, but still, the work is there nonetheless. So, when I saw the video, I'm like, the first thing I'm thinking to my mind is that, you see what I'm saying, you're not even in a position to even critique Bobby. You see what I'm saying? You're not even in a position, my brother, to even critique Bobby. Let's deal with that. You haven't done the work. There's a certain level of work that you have to be in and have done to even be able to even critique someone of Bobby's caliber. You're not even in a position to even critique Bobby. So let's deal with that first. First of all, you see what I'm saying? You're not even in a position to even critique Bobby, right? But it's just but what it really is though. Obviously now, before we can critique others, right? We must first look at our own stuff. So if we're dealing with the realms of scholarship, consciousness, and knowledge, before we can critique the teachings of someone else, we must first go into our own closet and look at our own teachings. You see what I'm saying? And for that particular brother, you see what I'm saying, there's teachings that he has yet to, false teachings that he has yet to clarify, he has yet to essentially redeem now. You see what I'm saying? He has to redeem himself from the false teachings that he has taught. You see what I'm saying? Over the past couple of years. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with some of the stuff he was dealing with. There's some false teachings. And one of the more recent false teachings, the guy did a video on. You see what I'm saying? I've seen some of the guy's videos, but I've had my piece. I'll do my thing and let him do him. But I think he's crossed the line now. So again, I have to deal with this. One of the false teachings that the brother presented was he dealt with Hinduism. Right. And the brother was going into some stuff. And he said, well, Shiva is a woman. And I'm watching the video, I'm thinking, like, where does he get this information from? Where did this even come from? Like, Shiva's a woman. Like, there's so many sources. Where did he even find this? And then I'm going to the comments now. I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the percentages of how many people are actually challenging him. And based on the percentages, it's like 5% are actually challenging him, and 90% they're just going with it. So what is that then? You see what I'm saying? What do we have here? So again, it's really one of these things. There's so many false teaching that brother has to address in his own closet. You see what I'm saying? Dealing with some of the stuff, the Anunnakis and all these alien extraterrestrial mummies and all of this stuff that he has to address. You see what I'm saying? In his own world before he can even extend and reach to the caliber, to the heights of Bobby Hemmitt. You're not there, my brother. That ain't it. That wasn't it. You see what I'm saying? So really, that's what we're dealing with. But I think. But again, this is a quick video. I gotta address this, But again, one thing we gotta start looking at, and again, for those people who've been following me for years now, you guys know I used to deal with some other stuff, dealing with the black country community, and dealing with agents in the community. You guys know I dealt with this. Right. I've stopped dealing with. I prefer just to straight knowledge. That's what I would prefer. I would prefer to deal with straight knowledge, straight information, straight consciousness. I would prefer to, rather than all the conflict, rather than all that. I would prefer to deal with straight knowledge. But again, I have to address it. So again, one thing we gotta understand is that, when you deal with knowledge now, or the black conscious community, or just a community in general, there's a ground in which you stand on. Right? There's a ground in which you stand on, and a ground in which, and what's happening with that brother, what I've noticed from his inception to now, the ground in which he stands on is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, right? To where you're not, what are you? You're not standing on anything at all. You see what I'm saying? When you're dealing with our ancestors, you had to be grounded in ma'at. You had to be grounded in something. You had to be grounded in, if you're not standing on that square, you're not standing on that ground anymore, then what are you really standing on? You see what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what's really happening with this brother. So really, what we got now that he's done this now, and again, not some, on one level it's for views, but on another level it's deeper than that. You see what I'm saying? Because there seems to be a trend with this brother from his inception to now. There's a trend with this particular brother and what he's doing. You see what I'm saying? And again, the ground that he's standing on is getting smaller and smaller. You see, one thing another brother said, I think it was Red Pill said, it's something about, when a brother goes against, the school of thought that he's come from, that's when he's finished. That's when that brother should really be finished in the community. If the community is a strong, sounding community with morals and values, and it's a real community, that's when that brother is finished. So we got to start paying close attention to this brother now. You should have already been paying close attention already over the years. But if you're just new to this and this is your first sign, this is your first alert, your first alarm is ringing from this point forward, then you're late in the game. You know what I'm saying? But then that's still alarm bells are ringing, which is good. You see what I'm saying? But the whole point of what we're saying is, based on what the other brother said, the brother Red Pill, what he was saying was basically, if you go against your own teachers, that's when really you're done in the community. So we gotta start paying close attention to this brother now, and we gotta start paying close attention to, where he stands now, because the ground is getting smaller. The ground's getting smaller, my brother. The ground's getting smaller and smaller. So we gotta pay close attention. And there's only one brother now that he particular deals with now. We're not going to really mention that brother's name, but you guys know who he deals with. He does a lot of live streams with him. That brother. You know what I'm saying? I think the key now to where the day he goes against that brother, right? Because again, there's a trend forming now. There's a trend. This guy clearly, he has no allegiance. That's what he's showing. The day he goes against that brother, he should be done in the community. That's when the community we're done with him. And if the community doesn't do that, then the community is finished, more or less. The community is already, it's already really in pieces already as it is. And that's the reason why I've just started with the knowledge now. I kind of left it alone, but that's really where we're going with this. The day he goes against that, bro, even if it's just a little jab, even if it's just a little jab, just a small jab, he should be finishing the community, because what ground are you standing on? You see what I'm saying? Even with the brother, that brother he does a lot of live streams with, we may have a few differences with him and a few things that we don't like about him and stuff like that, but we gotta acknowledge that he stayed firmly on the ground from day one. The same stuff that he's been dealing with day one, he stayed on that ground. I ain't gonna go into what that is, but you guys know what that is. But this particular brother now, he's showing no allegiance whatsoever, and that is a bad sign, very bad. So again, just a quick video. Normally I wouldn't do video like this. I like just keep it to the knowledge, but I just had to speak on this. Maybe just doing it for views, but alarm bells are ringing right now. Or they should be ringing for some of you already, but if this is the first sign, then that's good. The alarm bells are ringing. So we got to start paying close attention to this brother now and seeing now where his allegiance lies, and because the ground's getting smaller. And like I said, the day he goes against that particular brother, the dynamic duo, what he calls it, whatever, the day he goes against him, the day contention starts to form between them, he should be done in the community. Because you have no grounds, you have no allegiance, you have nothing left at that point. So the ground's getting smaller, brother. That was a bad move. That's all I'm going to say to that brother right there. That was a bad move. Coming at Bobby, that was a bad move. Nobody's perfect. But again, that was a bad move, my brother. Bad move. You know what I'm saying? So, again, just a quick video, guys. Really and truly. I had to deal with this. You know what I mean? I had to just deal with it. I had to address this. You see what I'm saying? There's a line. There's a line. He just crossed the line. So, when that happens, you got to put somebody back in their place. So, again, my brother, before you can... to close it out now, all I want to say is, before you can go against someone else's teachings and put up the false teaching of someone else, you must first go into your own closet. And there's a long line, my brother. From your teachings, there's a long line of falsehoods that you gotta address before you can even address the Bobbies, even address these other teachers. There's a long line. You understand what I'm saying? So that's all I gotta say in that aspect. Go into your own closet first, my brother, before you start going into other people's, and there's a long line that you have yet to address. So again, that's all I gotta say in that aspect right there. Quick video, alright? I'm out.